Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. This is actually last week's video that ended up in two parts because of my computer kind of taking its last gasps. The video came out really poorly and I had to do it in two sections. So here is toxic triangles in narcissistic abuse. Triangulation is a manipulation tactic where one person will not communicate directly with another and instead uses a third person to relay communication to the second, thus forming a triangle. Triangles are also formed to create control and division between people. Narcissists are masters at the use of triangles to control, manipulate, and get their needs met. Here are the main areas we see narcissists create and use triangles. Triangulation plays a prominent role in how narcissists operate in their families. For example, the narcissistic parent will often engage one of the kids to team up with them to isolate, bully, and gaslight their spouse. This parentifies the child or makes them the surrogate spouse to the narcissist. It completely disempowers the victim spouse and further empowers the narcissist. The parentification of the child and the enmeshment relationship that they form with the narcissistic parent is very unhealthy for the child. Creates confusion of roles, relationship issues, and ongoing conflict with the victim parent. Getting attention from a narcissistic parent is often so challenging that the child will often welcome this enmeshment and go along with the triangulation, not realizing the depth and breadth of the manipulation and abuse involved. The victim parent will be undermined in their parenting and feel more and more depressed as they feel unloved, unwanted, unneeded, and misunderstood. Ultimately, this can lead to complete despair that fuels suicidality. This is a deadly and destructive triangle that is very common in families with a narcissistic parent. Of course, the narcissist can also be one of the adult children who will often triangulate one parent against the other. This also creates conflict, destruction, and despair as a family is torn apart. Triangles of any origin can lead to long-term estrangement in families. When everyone talks directly to each other, they may find the narcissistic family member created those divisions for their own purposes, and the family can be reunited. I've seen this many times and marvel at how people will allow these divisions to go on without talking directly to each other. If you have a family division, go directly to each person and see if there hasn't been a manipulation by one family member to divide the others. Life is too short to allow these things to fester and take on a life of their own. In romantic relationships, triangles are often used to create jealousy and intensify adoration. When a narcissist is first love bombing a new victim, they will often play them off of a real or imaginary rival. They will talk about their past partners or someone who is flirting with them and stir up competition and jealousy. This often pushes a new victim to have sex sooner than they would have or let the relationship progress faster than they might have. It might spur them to work harder for the narcissist's attention and thus gives the narcissist a huge hit of adoration. The swinging back and forth from love bombing to triangulation is part of how the narcissist draws the victim into their web. They dangle the love bombing out there to entice, and then they triangulate to control. These are the foundations of the trauma bond. Another way triangles are used is to gaslight the victim. The narcissist will often engage and use others to help solidify their reality of events, to make their victim feel crazy. They may do this when a victim is getting sick of their abuse and trying to regroup to get out of the relationship. They'll let others in on the conflict in their relationship, but spin it to make it look like the narcissist is the victim and make the victim look like they're abusive or crazy. They will act the martyr and show what they've had to put up with. They will get friends and family to side with them and make the victim look crazy or overly sensitive or too much drama. Others may buy into this and try to help them, while only really fueling a narcissist and making the victim feel more alone and despairing. The narcissist will continually use these triangulated conversations to support their version of reality, telling the victim, well, everyone agrees with me, anytime they have a conflict. By engaging this triangulation, they create a powerful force to isolate and disempower the victim. The victim may even try to talk to everyone about the truth of the situation, but the fog of the abuse makes it hard to combat this type of gaslighting. Another common triangle is when narcissists control the communication amongst others in a group of friends or colleagues to keep the focus of attention on themselves and drive a wedge between the others in the group. This can be done by falsely making one of the people into a scapegoat for problems that the narcissist is actually responsible for, or telling vicious stories that have a shred of truth or none at all. Narcissists will often create bonds with others by bad-mouthing someone else. This triangle creates a real catch-22. If you challenge them and deny their gossiping any airtime, they will turn on you, while not challenging their viciousness can be really hard to stomach and makes you feel badly for that ostracized person. In relationships, triangulation is used also to control the flow of communication between the victim and all others in their lives, to maximize attention and adoration for themselves, and also to isolate the victim from any support from others. They separate people from talking directly with each other and insist all communications go through them. By routing all communications among family and friends of the victim, they create control and isolation. Everyone is manipulated into going along with this, as otherwise the narcissist will be mad at them and they will incur their wrath. When you feel afraid of making that person mad by communicating directly with someone else, you're being triangulated. Isolation is essential to the games the narcissist plays. They need to feed them their own reality and version of the facts and keep them from any outside supports or truths. They'll do this through devaluing the family and friends of the victim, by driving away with their actions, and by triangulating through telling lies to them or about them. This gets the family and friends to stay away, or it causes the victim to reject their family and friends. A form of group triangulation happens when a narcissist engages a group of flying monkeys. This is a group of people the narcissist gathers, sort of their entourage or their posse. They must buy into whatever the narcissist is telling them. They must adore and appropriately worship the narcissist, and they must fear stepping outside of the narcissist's good graces. One expectation they must fulfill is to participate in bullying their victim, with or for the narcissist. At the extreme are these gang cyber attacks that have driven some victims to suicide. Suicide amongst girls between the ages of 10 and 14 have been increasing astronomically. I'd be willing to bet gang cyberbullying is the main reason, with a narcissistic mean girl as the leader of the attack. But this also happens in adult relationships, friendships, and family. When the relationship ends and the narcissist decides they want to get revenge for whatever reason, they will engage their flying monkeys to dish out the abuse. The victim's trying to heal and rebuild, and yet the abuse only intensifies. This can create utter despair, as they already so emotionally destroyed by the abuse and trauma bonding. And then you add in the flying monkeys after the discard. This can truly push someone over the edge. Strangely, the narcissist will often play the victim to get the monkeys on the warpath. They will also sell some big sob story about how they were so good to that victim and they were so wronged by them leaving. Yet it would seem so obvious that this is so mean and hateful and wrong that it's hard to fathom how the monkeys can justify their actions. If you've fallen into a camp of flying monkeys, please step back and realize you're the pawns the narcissist is using to continue abuse on the victim. Without your participation, the abuse might end and the victim can heal. Fight toxic triangles by telling truth directly to the individual you have an issue with. Don't allow others to triangulate you or anyone else. When you see triangles, directly address them. In families, go to the person and don't accept any gossip as fact. And for the love of all that is decent, don't be a part of a brigade of flying monkeys. Whatever version of whatever story you're being fed to justify that, it's garbage. No one should be bullied for any reason ever. Go directly to that person or just stay out of it. If you've appreciated this video, please like it and subscribe, and leave some comments below anything that you'd like to hear in the future. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.